So, are you like me? Do you feel like when you get to August, it's just a bit too much at that point? You've already been through June, you've already been through July, and I'm talking about living in a somewhat warmer climate. I'm not talking about living in Alaska where it might not affect you. Now, it might. I'm not really sure. I don't live up in Alaska, I live in Tennessee. But for me personally, don't get me wrong, I love summer. I really, really do. But when I get to August, the sensory overload that I have experienced all of June, all of July, just starts to take its toll on me. And what do I mean by that? Well, I think there's a lot of us out there that are super sensitive or highly sensitive beings where you can see the people out there in the blazing hot sun. They're at the beach, they're at the pool, they're out there all day long, and they absolutely love it. For me, it makes me feel like I'm fading a little bit, and it's really hard to explain. I guess if you feel this way, you're probably going to understand what I'm talking about, right? So, for those of you that are new, my name is Wendy, and I do videos on fashion, lifestyle, home, any of that kind of stuff. I just like to share stories and experiences and connect with people that are around my age group or outside of my age group. I'm a Gen X and I'm 57 years old. And I have always been the one that I felt like in August I was getting to my breaking point in terms of I just need summer to be over because I am an autumn winter person. I love autumn, and I feel like I come alive in autumn. And of course, that's when the world is quieting down. That's when things are getting prepared to hibernate for the winter, or what I call go to sleep for the winter, right? The trees, the uh, change color, then they lose their leaves, and flowers, the blooms fade away. All of these different things. And I feel my senses awakening at that time. I feel myself starting to come alive because through the summer, especially when you live in a warmer climate that has not just heat, it has humidity. It has the humidity and the higher dew point, which is what makes it really miserable. I feel sometimes like I struggle to breathe. I feel like I'm being suffocated. And it's not panic attacks, it's not any of that stuff. I am just very hypersensitive to all of it. I love the sound of the birds, and I love going for my walks around the lake at the park where I go. And I love seeing the deer, and I love seeing the ducks, and I love seeing the people that I know with their dogs out walking their dogs. But there's a point during the day where I just can't go. And there's parts around the lake that I walk around usually in the summertime because it's more shaded. I can't be out in that blazing hot sun. And, it does have a little something to do with the fact that I'm a redhead, I have more fair skin, and I think I'm more sensitive to that. But my sensory experience, I just get overloaded with it. It seems like it's just too much noise sometimes. And then, of course, with the heat, I feel just like I've got too many things coming at me all at once. And so I get to August and I start to feel like it's just overwhelming me. And how do I help mitigate that, right? So do I stop going outside? No, because being outside and being in nature and getting sunlight is wonderful for your health. I mean, you need it. You have to have it. There's no way around it. And it's also good for your mental health. And I love being outside, obviously. But when I go for my walks, when it gets really, really hot, I either go super early in the morning, and that's usually between 8 and 9. I will get out there and I'll go for my walk, or I go in the evening, where there's another part of the trail I walk on that in the daytime it's full of sun, in the early evening it's fully shaded. And it might be hot and it might be humid outside, but because I don't also have the sun blasting down on me, I feel like I can just cope with it a little bit better. And of course, I make sure I drink a lot of water, I stay hydrated, and I make sure that I wear loose fitting clothes because I want to be able to breathe. I see the people out there wearing their workout clothes, and it's the leggings and the super tight tops and everything else, and that's great if that works for them. I would just probably go into a panic attack if I wore that in the summertime outside, because I don't like anything constrictive on my body when it's hot like that. I feel like I just can't breathe at that point. And that's just me. So that's why I said I think that I'm just a highly sensitive person when it comes to certain things like that. And I try and walk as far as I can, meaning it's usually anywhere from 2.5 to 4 miles every single day. But when autumn and winter rolls around, sometimes I forget that I've just been out walking already for an hour and a half, and it's already 5 miles, 6 miles. But because I just feel so alive in those seasons, I forget about the fact that I'm sweating and the sun's blazing down on me, because it's not. It's everything is softer and everything is quieter. And yes, there's less people. The wildlife is still there, but I just feel like, for me personally, oh, Mozart wants to say hi. Everything just comes back into focus during that time. And spring is a great time as well. I do love spring. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit in this video, everyone, because I know that there's a lot of us out there that, feel that way. There's people out there that they struggle in the wintertime, right? Because they have the seasonal affective disorder. And yes, it's more prevalent in states that have more rainy, cloudy days. So if you look at the Pacific Northwest, I think that there's more people that have to deal with that and that suffer from that than people that live in Florida or Arizona, for example. But I've never had an issue with that. But I'm also the person that gets outside. And even if it's cloudy out, you are still getting some sun. You just can't really see it. And it's not, of course, where you need to wear sunglasses and sunblock and all of that stuff. Especially in the wintertime, you can get away with, not having to put sunglasses on. I do it in the summertime too, if I can help it. And I just feel like I don't want to speed time up, obviously, right? Who wants to do that? But in August, I find myself just daydreaming of September, and especially October and November, because I just love that time of year. I just look forward to putting on long pants again, and I look forward to having cool, crisp air, being able to breathe and not feeling like I've just been drenched in a shower when all I've been doing is, I've been outside. And I know people that love it the hotter it gets. They thrive off of that. They love that. And it's not that they're not feeling all of those sensory experiences either, right? Because we all feel these things. We feel that sun and the warmth and the heat and the humidity, or the dryness if you're in Arizona or Colorado. We feel all those things, but there are those of us that are more sensitive to it, and it affects us much differently. And that's why we, feel like we just need it to end and we need to get into our season, right? And that should never stop you from going outside. You just have to kind of work around it. And that's what I do, because like I said, I I do the walking for that benefit of the health side of it, but I do the other health side benefit of it, which is getting outside and being in the sun and having that sensory experience of being near nature, because to me that's, very important. So, and of course, I spend a lot of time in the summertime reading. This is, spend a lot of time in the winter reading too, but in the summertime, I read an awful lot. And it's because I'm not outdoors as much. When it's autumn, I can spend time outside for hours and hours and hours and never want to go in the house. I can sit out on my porch for hours and just revel in the joy of the cool weather. I love it so much. So it's not anything that's problematic. It's not your fault. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means that there are those of us that are more highly sensitive individuals compared to other people. And so we might experience things a little bit differently in that aspect. And so I find for me that what works is slowing down a little bit and then having to change my schedule around so I'm not out at peak sun time, which is like 10 to 2, 10 to 3, something like that. When I see a cloudy day, like we have a partially sunny day today, we've got clouds rolling in, that makes me more inclined to not dread going for my walk. I know I'm still going to get hot. I know I'm still going to sweat and all of that stuff that goes along with it. But I don't dread it as much because I know that it's not going to be as sunny out there. And could I walk with an umbrella? Of course I could, but that kind of defeats the purpose of getting the sun. You need the sun to get into your eyes, not direct, but you need it into your eyes to absorb the vitamin D. That's very important for our health because most of us don't get enough vitamin D in our diet. So being outside helps that immensely, in my personal opinion. That's just, what I think about it. But I just feel like if you can kind of move those things around a little bit, if that helps you, if you feel like you're super sensitive, hypersensitive to that particular time of the year, which is the heat of summer. I guess they call it the dog days of summer for a reason, and that's usually August. And yeah, it's because you get to that point where you just need it to be over with. You're done with the heat. You're done with the sweating. You're done with the overheating. You're just done with the blazing hot sun. And you want everything to just kind of quiet down, and you want everything to calm down. And you want I feel like I want Mother Nature to rejuvenate me in her softness. Does that make sense? I want her to tell me, okay, it's time to come out of your shell because I'm calming down. I'm going into my quiet season. And for those of us that are super hypersensitive to that heat and humidity and all of that just overbearing loudness of the crickets and the cicadas and everything else in the summertime and the noise of it all, it just I think it just harkens us back to feeling like we're getting back to our normal selves again. And that's, like I said, that's just kind of how I feel about it. I know it's coming. I know it in May. I get to June and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can handle this. In July, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm hanging in there. And then I get to August and then it really starts to affect me where, like I said, I really have to change my schedule more so I don't stop going outside because that's not going to help either. So I change it a lot. Do I always want to go for a walk in the evening? No, but I do it, and I do it because I know it's good for me, and I know it makes me feel good. And once I get out there and I get started and I get going, I'm fine. But it just wipes me out. It wipes me out so much, and it just zaps my energy, and I'm a very energetic person. So like I said, when September, October rolls around, yeah, my energy just goes through the roof. It's crazy. So yeah, if there's those of you that are out there that experience this um, super sensitive, more sensitive feelings, and just all of that that goes with it in the heat of the summer, it's okay. It's just something that some of us experience more than others, and we just have to find ways to work around it and to help calm that down. And so, at the same time, calming down our nervous system, because you don't want that to get hyperactive. That's not good for anybody, right? You don't want to put a stress on your nervous system. And yeah, so that's kind of how I handle it, you guys. I just calm myself down in those ways where I walk earlier or I walk later, and I don't spend all day outside in the summer. I go outside as much as I can, obviously. And sometimes it means just getting in my car and driving, going on nice country drives. I love doing that. And yes, I'll have the air conditioning on and the windows rolled down, because I still want that fresh air. I love the fresh air, but it's different versus when you're walking and there's no breeze at all. And yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Just a little something I was thinking about and wanted to share with everyone, since we are halfway through August, and I can kind of feel that excitement building too. I can feel it getting nearer to the surface of my thoughts, where I can almost smell that cool air in the morning, and I can almost feel that cool air on my skin. And when the breeze starts to come in, and it's just so refreshing. We're getting there. We're getting there. So anyway, let me know in the comments below if you are one of these people that are highly sensitive or super sensitive to this season of summer, and you feel much better in autumn or winter or even spring. Things that you do to kind of mitigate that or get around that, and how do you handle it personally, because that'll help other people when they read those comments, um, to see, hey, this is something maybe I can try, because you don't want to stay cooped up in your house all summer long. That's not the point of this. You want to be outside, and you want to enjoy, and you want to get your sun and your fresh air and everything, but you want to be able to handle it a little bit better. So anyway, yeah, there you go. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos, and give me a thumbs up. And I love you all so much, and we will talk soon. Take care. Bye.